did you first start using AudioMulch?
Yeah, I think I was one of those ones that, just kind of 12, 13 years old, just really getting into things and playing just a lot of terrible Nirvana covers in high school and, punk bands and stuff like that. And kind of had this thing where, like played lots of different music over the years and slowly got after a, really traumatic experience with an indie rock band when I was 17 or 18. I was like, no, I'm not going to play guitar for a year or so. Got into electronic music production. Was playing around with some other programs, and with Mulch, I think it was maybe 2006 that I first started making Mulch. I just finished my first album under the name Anonymai, and I just sent it to the presses. I discovered this new program, AudioMulch, and it was and I'd previously been performing with another program before that, and I like it for as a studio program, but not as a live program. But I've found AudioMulch to be really fantastic. That it's pretty. I think you can kind of pick it up quite intuitively, and there's also so much to learn as well. And I really liked that as well. And I think from 2006 onwards, in varying degrees, it's been the main program that I've used live, just because I've got the things I get out of it. I know there's so much more you can do with the program, but I think what I've got out of it really suits me. The patch here that I use, it's definitely changed a lot over the years, and I've added a lot, I've taken it away a lot, and there's other bits and pieces that I can see there that I have there itching to use if I ever want to use them. So I really like the adaptability about it, and it's kind of influenced. I think it's definitely influenced the music I make.
You said in 2006 you started looking at it, AudioMulch, and you were using other software before. Like, what other software were you using, and were you following a similar approach back then to performing? Or were you performing?
I was definitely performing, and I've used Ableton Live with other things with beats. As for me, I've just excuse me, I used Ableton as a live thing. It's very much a loop-based, trigger-based kind of thing, and I really enjoyed doing that. But then as I was playing a bit more other instruments rather than just pressing triggering things, I found that. And I know that you can do a lot of things on live where you can, edit instruments, and I didn't really find that I was getting that much out of it. I found that for me, I got myself in a bit of a way where I just would trigger things, or, I do use Live as a editing tool. That's actually the editing tool I use, but I don't use it for live. It's that weird paradox. It's one of those weird things. I feel self-indulgent when I'm making music in live, but I don't when I'm in Mulch, which, again, it all comes down to the actual person. Like, some people might look at this and go, actually, that's really, really such a self-indulgent thing. Why wouldn't you use this Ableton thing with, like, lots of pretty colours? And it's like, yeah, no, I totally get that. But for me, this is, it maybe looks more confusing than this. Like, this makes total sense to me, because I can just look at the top, starts here, ends here. Like, that's, it's actually usually, I have this down here. So, starts here, blah, 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 ends here, and that's kind of, it's like a Google Maps or whatever thing. Like, there's several ways you can go, and I think with Ableton, for me, I feel like I'm starting here, I'm kind of stuck going this way. Like, sure, there's a great thing on the side of the road, but no, can't do it, have to keep going straight to my destination. And with Mulch, it's kind of, for me anyway, like, the way I work with it, I love having all these different options. Like, I can end up at these places, and through developing this setup over a few years, at least I feel like I've got an idea of where things are going to go. And that's okay. If I get a little bit lost, I can find a way to get back on the map. Like, I'm not going to be driving into a ditch. Yeah. I can do a U-turn at some stage and, come back.
Someone suggested that some people approach music like it's an engineering task, and they know where they want to go.
Yeah.
And it's important for the program they're using to get them there.
Yeah.
And for other people, it's more about a journey, a sort of metaphorical journey through a creative process. And the tool supports them in that.
Yeah,
maybe that's more important than something that gets them from A to B.
Yeah, definitely. I think
quickly. So
yeah, I definitely agree with that, and I think I'd come into the latter category because, again, it's that, I think, background. I've got a background with, like, being interested in computer and electronic music, but also background with playing instruments as well. So I really enjoy just this flexibility that I can be in this. Mulch provides me the capability to do a very serious set thing if I feel like, but also just kind of go different ways as well. For me, I guess I love playing with software, but I think my background is a musician in a way, so I just want things personally that I can have all these limitless possibilities, but not have to spend 3, 6, 12 months diving into code. I mean, that's
Yeah.
probably not where my strengths lie. So I think AudioMulch and Ableton for a bit of recording and editing are the only ones I really use anymore.
Did you get into Max MSP or those sort of more hardcore programming type
I
ones?
tried Max, and then I realized it wasn't for me. Like, it's one of those ones. I'm not a programmer. I'd like to think I am sometimes, but then I gave up that pretension a while ago. I managed to develop a couple of little patches, but I just figured it wasn't doing anything that I couldn't already get from Mulch or even from Ableton. So yeah. I think I was definitely getting into a lot more computer-based music. I think, there was, obviously, like, it's one of those things kind of growing up in this period, being 15, 16, when Napster was around, and there's that, wow, I can, download anything in the world and it's amazing and I'm going to listen to everything in the world, and that was 99 or 2000 or whatever it was. That was really, I think, formative in a lot of ways. I'm going to listen to all these different kinds of things, and I was really inspired by some really just straight up music. And then I think around the time I was getting into AudioMulch, there was a few things like, I think I'd seen Keith Fullerton Whitman play in Brisbane around that time when he was doing his playthrough setup. So that was really great. There's pure computer music as well, and I think there was I think sort of the idea of when I was getting into Mulch, I really had been listening to a lot of music where it was quite free flowing, but without being stuck in those improv cliches as well. So yeah. At heart, I'm a guitar player. Like, I first played the guitar, so I can do, I've picked up lots of bits and pieces over the years, but the guitar is the thing that I grew up with. So it's I like to fit in other, if I'm doing other things, I like to try and fit in either like the guitar or other string instruments like a bass or like a banjo or something like that. And I think the good thing about Mulch in this weird way, but I think the more and more I'm just changing, like, the setup with the foot pedals and the MIDI things, like, it's almost like I get to be able to play a computer like a guitar in a way that's really tactile and personal. I think one thing that people sometimes say about, like, software and programs, it's a computer, it's not personal at all, and actually it's kind of the most personal instrument of your own. Like, it's a synth, you get it out of the box, you can do some things. A banjo's a banjo, you buy it, it has some boxes. The computers, it's got all these things, like there's short shots. Sometimes it may not be the most visually interesting instrument to watch someone play, but you think that, okay, I've got my Mulch set up, but I've got all my emails, I've got photos from holidays, I've got all these different things, and it's kind of really amazing to know that this instrument that I can change all the time and not have to spend $150 per pedal, I can just, click another great contraption, and it just it changes as I change, and I think Mulch has been really good to me like that. As soon as I discovered this program, I knew that there was a program like Ableton where I could, for me, the way I work anyway, like things I could trigger loops and I, play with samples and stuff, and I really enjoy that. But I really like having, as soon as I discovered Mulch, a thing where I can take risks, and I know there's ways within the program to mitigate some of the risks I take, but I really enjoy the kind of in the sets, like, I don't have actually any pre-records in there. It's all live, so when that works, it's really great, and when it doesn't, it's a bit worrying, but that's okay. And I guess I really like that. I think that's the thing I love about Mulch, and I know there's so many cool things you can do with it, but I like the fact that when it all works, and when it all goes wrong, it really all goes wrong. And
it's the vitality of life.
Yeah, exactly, and that's it. And sometimes it's the complete depression, I'm never going to do this again kind of thing, and but that's okay. That's half the time. It's the I'm never going to play live again. Wake up with a hangover. I'm never going to get a drink again. And then 12 hours later, you're at the pub and you're asked to play a show, and you say yes to both. So it's I definitely found that as soon as I started playing with Mulch, it's definitely influenced the music I make.